Have you ever found yourself drawn to someone you knew you couldn't have? It's a feeling that can be both exhilarating and heartbreaking, a mix of hope and despair. You see them from afar and your heart races, but you know deep down that they are out of reach. Someone already taken, someone emotionally unavailable, or simply someone who lived in a world apart from your own. These barriers create a sense of mystery and allure, making the person seem even more desirable. It's as if the very act of being unattainable adds to their charm. It's a common experience, this magnetic pull toward the unattainable. We find ourselves daydreaming about what could be, imagining scenarios where the impossible becomes possible. This longing can consume our thoughts, making it hard to focus on anything else. We see a shimmering mirage in the distance, a vision of love that seems more perfect, more intense because it exists outside the realm of possibility. This idealized version of love can be intoxicating, drawing us in with its promise of something extraordinary. Perhaps it's the allure of the forbidden, the thrill of wanting what we can't have. There's a certain excitement in the chase, in the idea that we are defying the odds. This sense of rebellion can make the desire even stronger. Or maybe it's the safety net that unavailable love provides. When we know that a relationship is impossible, we can indulge in the fantasy without ever risking the vulnerability of real connection. It's a way to experience the highs of love without the potential for heartbreak. We can indulge in the fantasy without ever risking the vulnerability of real connection. This allows us to explore our feelings and desires in a safe space, free from the complications and challenges of a real relationship. Whatever the reason, the truth is, the human heart is a complex and often contradictory organ. We crave connection, yet we sometimes find ourselves drawn to the very thing that keeps us apart. This paradox is a fundamental part of the human experience. We crave connection, yet we sometimes find ourselves drawn to the very thing that keeps us apart. This push and pull can create a sense of inner conflict as we struggle to reconcile our desires with reality. This yearning for the unreachable can manifest in many forms. It might be a fleeting crush, a long-term infatuation, or even an obsession. Each form has its own unique impact on our emotions and behavior. It might be a celebrity crush, someone we admire from a distance but will never meet. This type of longing allows us to project our fantasies onto someone who is safely out of reach. A fascination with a fictional character, someone who embodies qualities we desire but who doesn't exist in the real world. This allows us to explore our idealized version of love without any real-world complications, or an infatuation with someone who is already in a relationship. This type of longing can be particularly painful, as it forces us to confront the reality of our unfulfilled desires. Whatever form it takes, this longing for the unavailable can be a powerful force, shaping our desires and influencing our choices. It can lead us to make decisions that we might not otherwise make, driven by the hope of achieving the impossible. It's a phenomenon worth exploring, if only to understand the hidden workings of our own hearts. By examining our attraction to the forbidden, we can gain insight into our deepest desires and fears, and perhaps find a way to navigate the complexities of love and longing. There's a certain excitement that comes with pursuing the unattainable. It's a feeling that can be both exhilarating and consuming, drawing us into a whirlwind of emotions and desires. It's the thrill of the chase, the adrenaline rush of wanting what you can't have. This desire can drive us to push our limits, to go beyond what we thought was possible, all in the name of capturing that elusive prize. The adrenaline rush of wanting what you can't have is akin to the highs of an adventure sport. Just like a roller coaster ride or skydiving, the pursuit of the unattainable can make our hearts race and our spirits soar. When someone is unavailable, they become a puzzle to solve, a challenge to overcome. This challenge can be intellectually stimulating, engaging our minds in a way that few other pursuits can. We pour our energy into deciphering their signals, trying to understand the hidden meanings behind their words and actions. Every text message, every glance, every gesture becomes a clue in the intricate puzzle we are trying to solve. Analyzing their every word and gesture for a glimmer of hope, we become detectives in our own love story. We scrutinize every detail, looking for signs that our feelings might be reciprocated. This pursuit can be intoxicating, especially in the beginning. The initial stages of attraction are filled with excitement and anticipation, making us feel alive and invigorated. We build up an idealized image of the person in our minds, attributing them with qualities they may or may not possess. This idealization can make the person seem perfect, flawless, and exactly what we've been searching for. Attributing them with qualities they may or may not possess, we create a version of them that fits our desires and fantasies. This version is often far removed from reality, but it feels real to us. We see only what we want to see, filtering out any imperfections or flaws. Our rose-colored glasses allow us to focus solely on the positive aspects, ignoring any potential red flags. Ignoring any red flags or incompatibilities, we convince ourselves that the person is perfect for us. We overlook the warning signs, choosing to believe in the illusion we've created. The unavailable person becomes a blank canvas onto which we project our own desires and fantasies. We paint a picture of perfection, filling in the gaps with our own hopes and dreams. Creating an illusion of perfection that is impossible to live up to, we set ourselves up for disappointment. The person can never truly match the idealized version we've created in our minds. This illusion is further reinforced by the fact that the relationship remains largely untested by the realities of everyday life. Without the challenges of daily interactions, the fantasy remains intact. We don't have to navigate the messy complexities of compatibility, compromise, or conflict. The relationship exists in a bubble, free from the trials and tribulations that come with real-life connections. The relationship exists solely in the realm of fantasy, where everything is always easy, always passionate, always new. This fantasy can be comforting, providing an escape from the mundane aspects of everyday life, where everything is always easy, always passionate, always new. But eventually the illusion fades, and we are left to confront the reality of our feelings and the true nature of the person we were pursuing. While the initial rush of pursuing the unattainable can be exhilarating, it can also be detrimental to our self-esteem. The thrill of the chase, the excitement of the unknown, and the allure of the forbidden can create a powerful emotional cocktail that is hard to resist. However, this initial high is often followed by a deep and painful low. When we fixate on someone who is unavailable, we are essentially choosing to love someone who is not choosing us back. This one-sided affection can create a sense of longing and yearning that is both intoxicating and destructive. We may find ourselves constantly thinking about the person, replaying moments in our minds and imagining a future that will never come to pass. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy, rejection, and self-doubt. We start to internalize the lack of reciprocation as a reflection of our own worth. The constant questioning of why we are not enough can erode our self-esteem over time. We may begin to compare ourselves to others, wondering what they have that we do not. We start to question our own worthiness, wondering why we are not enough to capture the heart of the person we desire. This self-doubt can permeate other areas of our lives, affecting our confidence in our abilities, our appearance, and our overall sense of self. The more we dwell on these negative thoughts, the more they become ingrained in our psyche. We may even begin to believe that we are undeserving of love, that we are somehow flawed or broken. This belief can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, leading us to sabotage our chances of finding healthy, fulfilling relationships in the future. We may push people away, fearing that they will eventually reject us as well. This negative self-talk can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, leading us to sabotage our chances of finding healthy, fulfilling relationships in the future. We may settle for less than we deserve, believing that we are not worthy of true love and happiness. This can create a cycle of unfulfilling relationships that only serve to reinforce our negative beliefs about ourselves. Moreover, unavailable love can keep us stuck in the past. We hold on to the fantasy of what could have been rather than moving on and opening ourselves up to new possibilities. This fixation on the past can prevent us from fully engaging in the present and from seeing the potential for new and healthier relationships. We hold on to the fantasy of what could have been rather than moving on and opening ourselves up to new possibilities. This can create a sense of stagnation where we are unable to move forward and grow. We may find ourselves stuck in a loop of longing and regret, unable to break free from the past. We become so accustomed to the familiar pain of unrequited love that we begin to mistake it for comfort, for a perverse form of security. The pain becomes a constant companion, something we can rely on, even if it is destructive. This can make it difficult to let go and move on, as the unknown can seem more frightening than the familiar pain. We tell ourselves that at least we are feeling something, even if that something is heartbreak. This can create a sense of identity around our pain, where we begin to see ourselves as the person who is always longing, always unfulfilled. Breaking free from this cycle requires a conscious effort to challenge our negative beliefs, to open ourselves up to new experiences, and to believe that we are worthy of love and happiness. The problem with living in a fantasy world is that it prevents us from fully engaging with reality. When we are fixated on someone who is unavailable, we are not truly present in our own lives or in our relationships with others. We may neglect our friends and family, withdraw from social activities, or even sabotage our own romantic prospects. This is because a part of us knows deep down that the unavailable love we crave is just that, unavailable. We may be afraid to admit it to ourselves, but the fear of true intimacy, of vulnerability and rejection, often lurks beneath the surface. As a result, we may find ourselves pushing away anyone who tries to get close. Anyone who threatens to shatter the illusion of unattainable love that we have so carefully constructed. We may even engage in self-sabotaging behaviors, unconsciously choosing partners who are emotionally unavailable or who mirror the dynamics of our unrequited love.